Oh yeah. Well, today, getting straight off into it as I always do. Um, I've always and will continue to always talk about this sampling issue as it is a particular topic that is of a, worthy conversation, right? And um I continue to say what we don't need to do with the sampling and so forth, right? But what I'm gonna say today is what I do like about sampling. All right. I get it. I used to do it. You know what I mean? I've been in the game long time, long time. Uh and I've been through a lot of the shifts of the technology that is used in order to make the music and so forth, from live to digital. And we're speaking digitally here. Um Sampling is a great art form. It really is. Notably, I always say when you take a sound from already created source and make your own sound from it, all right, that's when it's great. It's a great art form then. Other than that, it's just you taking somebody else's music creation and you just singing over it, rapping over it, whatever you're doing with it. And again, I ask, where is the level of creativity from 1 to 10 when that's what you do? But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about what I like about it and why these are the things that I loved about it. And I get it and see why, you know, it's such a thing that people are they fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Um, Listening, digging, if you will, all right, digging in the crates and pulling out a LP of a group that nobody heard of, you know, at least on a mainstream level, you know what I'm saying? Just another artist out here trying to make it. They didn't really go nowhere. They just had a record out and uh that was about the extent of what they did. Um it'd be a lot of funky ass grooves on those types of releases and they were like the greatest misses, honestly. You know, when you're talking about stuff that should have been exploited by the media but wasn't. Um, and so therefore we're stepping into the realm of obscure samples and so forth because these groups was just making really great music and didn't maybe have the right connections as though you need today in order to blow up in the biz and really get out there and make it heavy. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, the thing about the obscure sample is you found a group that is really not known, right? So you can possibly legally get away with it because the paperwork may not have been right on their end or time ran out on them. And you know what I'm saying? All these here kind of things. Some people just may have not want to press it or deal with it anyway. Because sometimes veteran artists feel like when they get sampled, they've made it. You know what I'm saying? It's a, Yeah, somebody thought that their music was dope enough to say, "I'm gonna use this and I'm gonna put a beat to it and I'm gonna rap over it." I mean, as they say, imitation is the greatest form of flattery and uh all this here kind of thing or what have you. But anyway, um The thing about sampling, that was my thing, finding those obscurities, and then once I get a piece of it, I'm going to take that. I'm doing all of this, everything my hands is doing to that sample to try to get my an original sound of my own because I manipulated it. If I didn't manipulate it, it would just still be whatever I sampled. You know what I mean? So, and also, let me just be totally transparent. I have, uh, when I first started in the sample game, right? There was a James Brown piece that I took and used, and it was a chop, but it was in my realm. It was a considerable length of a chop. You know what I'm saying? Um, and so from out the gate, I was like doing it like that, just coming out with taking small pieces of the popular joint and kind of recreating a different little sound there, but it's you still knew where it came from for the most part. You know what I'm saying? And then after longevity in the game and coming to a sense of wanting to say, I want to make my own sound and shit. So then doing the sampling and so forth, the master records have a particular sound quality that is really, really dope. A lot of records from way back then were mastered in a mono, so it gives you a different sound. It just, the way it comes out of the speakers and the way it hits you is different. So there's, you got the obscurity, okay, the things that have really never heard. Then you got the sound quality of it. You can sometimes get a master record and you put it on and the sound, it's got that mono bass out, mids up, treble in the middle type of shit. Sound like AM radio. Speaking of which, all right. Okay, let's go back to the 60s. Motown Records was the premier music back then. That was the mainstream thing. It ruled the airwaves. And you also knew if there was a Motown joint, you know what I'm saying? When it damn, what's going on here? Okay. You knew a Motown joint when you heard it just off the sound quality, the style and texture of the song, how it was put together, but then how it sounded, bass, treble, mids, sonics, dynamics, and so forth. You know what I mean? That we're talking on that level. And so it's that sound, and it's great. And that's why no one sound template is the shit, because that was that sound, and it still sound great today. You know what I'm saying? If you go into any sound menu on any equalizer and what have you, they'll have what you call presets, right? And those are nothing but constructed graphic EQ templates, and they're saved as in a particular setting, and they name it. So you got, like, in your car and a lot of your home stereos nowadays, um, rock. When you go to change the EQ and the bass and treble, when you hit the presets, rock, jazz, pop, voice, sports, uh, talk radio. I guess I've seen that. And then you have custom, where you can customize it how you want it to sound. You know, what sound good in my eardrum may not sound great to you, and vice versa. Or we could agree, or we could just totally be like, nah, that's some bullshit. So there is no one sound template. But when you go and you use these samples, they have so many different sound templates to them, and they all sound good. But then it's upon, and however you hear it in the post mix, when you get to really constructing it and how you want it to sound in your track, and you start EQing it. Give me some more bass in it, and I'll take some of that bass out, and I'll level the bass out. Turn the mids up, and I'll turn the mids down. And I'll level the mids. Turn the treble up, turn the treble down. I'll level the treble. See, it's a lot of that going on in terms of how you hear it. So anyway, the sound of samples gives your track a particular texture. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, I got to rock with this. So we are at obscurity, sound quality, okay, orchestration, okay. When you listen to them James Brown records and you hear Fred Wesley and them come in with the horns, and Stubblefield, Clyde Stubblefield is on the drums, giving you some of that funky drummer shit, and you got, depending on what time period you was listening to it in, you got Bootsy Collins and Catfish Collins on the bass and the lead guitar, and it be funky little breaks in there that you want to say, "Ooh, give me that," right? And that's what sampling, the things that I like about sampling, right, is being able to catch those things, because you, if I guess depending on who you are, what talents you have, and how good your ear is, and so forth, you can create those same breaks in your own way if you just sit at the piano or your controller or your beat pad or whatever you use to make music with, and do that same shit. Or you can do it in your own original creation with the influence of what you heard. The influence of the James Brown, the influence of the Roger Troutman, the influence of you know, what's my man's name? Damn, why am I losing it? Anyway, we'll just say those two cats. Or let's just go with Earth, Wind, and Fire then. The influence of that Earth, Wind, and Fire sound, or orchestration, or whatever they're doing, and then you put it together and you make your own shit, and you feel better about it because it's you doing it. And then once you listen to everything you've done, as you bring the composition to its complete stage, it's no better feeling, man. Especially when you did it. You know what I mean? It came from your brain, not from Clyde Stubblefield or James Brown or Bootsy Collins or Roger Troutman or George Clinton. It came from your brain. And I also do understand that everything in music and the creative arts is influence. I understand that totally. Um, but there's one thing to be influenced to do it, and then being influenced to be, sound, and do like what you like. You know what I mean? Don't imitate, create. All right? Don't imitate, create. We would love to be able to play and do things that our musical heroes, or whatever it is that you do, are heroes, man. You want to be able to, like, yeah, I wish I could do that. But take that same energy, that same want to do, and put it into what you do, and make it your own thing. You dig what I'm saying? So that's where we at with the sample thing, man. Sampling is a very cool art. when you make it your own. You'd put a little blood, sweat, and tears and some thought and some, a couple of erasures and, all of that into it in order to come up with what you got. You know what I mean? It's much better feeling, I'm just saying. But anyway, sampling and also in regards to taking what someone else has done and you're redoing it, then that's a whole different thing, right? That's like a homage. You paying your respects to the prior or previous artist who created said piece. And now you like, hey, like Jimi Hendrix did that for Bob Dylan. He loved Bob Dylan. All Along the Watchtower, Bob Dylan's version is dope. It really is. You just take it to the lab one day. Bob Dylan, All Along the Watchtower. He's the original creator of that song, okay? Just historical fact. So Hendrix was like, yo, that shit was dope, man. So as a homage, Jimmy played it right over. And he did the lyrics over and everything, the same lyrics, but he did it in Jimmy's way. And the response was overwhelming. All Along the Watchtower was a great, great song, both versions. But Jimmy did it so good that Bob Dylan adapted Jimmy's version of his own song as a salute and thank you for taking what I did and making it even doper. So now I'm gonna play your version of it because you took my song and made it better in his eyes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it was the ultimate respect shown. So, um, yeah, man. Um, but then see again, I gotta hit you with the counterpoint on that. If you want to take an old popular record and rap over the top of it and say, I did that, I created this, and then there's a problem. Then you have a problem. Huh. Hey, I dare y'all to sample Hotel California by the Eagles. I try that one. But um yeah, so those are the things that I like about sampling. You know, I I got to say this. DJ Premier is Pete Rock as well. I got to say Pete Rock too. Primo is a master chopper, one of anyway, who I notably, I bang his music and the shit be I just and I be listening to the samples and a lot of them I know where it come from, but I just be like, the way he did it, the way he chopped it, it's like, yo, where did you get that one from? You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of them. Salute Primo. Salute. Um, um, Pete Rock and Common. Wow. Wow. 10 out of 10 album, man. And it's heavily sample based and stuff like that, but it's dope because he took it and made it his own, man. He took it and made it his own. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, those are the things I like about sampling. And but I don't do it no more. I don't do it no more because I'm immersed in my originality bag, as I've always pretty much been, but I'm sub levels deeper into it now because I just want to do what I do. And, you know, that's how all these people became who they became because they were relentlessly themselves and did what they did and wasn't trying to ride off the back of others' success and so forth. You know what I mean? So, Um, yeah. But sampling, man, sampling is a dope art. Again, when you make the sound your own.